Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in. Once again, as always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So, seems like Mayor Tiffany Henyard's former police chief is coming out and exposing her. Now, y'all know who Tiffany Henyard is. She's the mayor of Dolton City in Illinois. It's a suburb of Chicago, I believe. And she's been in the news for the last few months, being investigated for misappropriating funds, that's there for the taxpayers and using it for her own personal benefit, and actually making like $300,000 a year with two positions. And yet, her little city, the people only average like $23,000, annually as a salary. But anyway, let's get into this story because, like I say, there's some exposure here. I'm getting this from, AOL.com. I guess Yahoo by way of AOL.com. That AOL still around? Dang. I think my dad still got an AOL email address. My gosh. Former Dolton police chief exposes Mayor Tiffany Henyard's alleged misuse of police detail. It says the former police chief of South Suburban Dolton is speaking out for the first time about Mayor Tiffany Henyard's controversial police security detail and how it affected his ability to fight crime. In 2023, a Fox 32 investigation showed how that security detail is taking officers off the street and costing taxpayers thousands of dollars in overtime. Quote, the manpower was just very stressed and critical to the point of almost breaking, said former Dolton police chief Robert Collins. Having officers on the detail rather than having officers out patrolling the streets. Collins spoke to us from Florida, where he's taking a new job after being fired by Henyard late last year. Fellas, side note, there's no reason why you can't be making money and get paid. Sometimes you got to go out your comfort zone. Now, he was the police chief of Dolton, which is in Chicago. Now this dude is in Florida with a job. Sometimes you got to get up and move your family. You got to move around. Yeah, you got these illegal migrants coming in, leaving their families. Or you got legal people that are legal too, trying to come over here legally too. They leave their family. They leave them in a whole different part of the world to come to the U.S. to make money to help support their family. Then they'll bring their family over, or they just make the money, send it back over, and then they'll eventually go back. But sometimes you gotta, break protocol. You gotta get out your comfort zone to take care of your family. Collins says he remains frustrated by what he experienced, leading an undermanned, overworked police department, while Henyard demanded a large personal security detail. Quote, we needed those officers to be on the street fighting crime. Instead, we have several officers that are riding around protecting the mayor, Collins said. Wrong is wrong, and there's a time to hold people responsible and accountable for their actions. Last year, a Fox 32 investigation followed Henyard's detail as Dolton police officers drove her from morning until night, often to her second taxpayer-funded job as Thornton Township supervisor in South Holland. So she's a Thornton Township supervisor and she's a mayor. That's how she's making like $300,000. Through an open records request, we found the officers assigned to Henyard racking up hundreds of hours of overtime, costing taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars. I'm not sure how people can live with themselves. Taking advantage of taxpayers like that. You live in a town that's pretty much below average at best, when the average annual income for your citizens is $23,000. That is not a lot of money. Money like that you can pretty much guarantee that crime will be a problem, because not a lot of money going around. So everybody's going, crabs in the barrel, gonna find any dime that they can find. They're gonna either work 10 jobs, or they're gonna sell drugs, or they're gonna rob, or they're gonna hang out, be on drugs because of the situation that they're in. Regardless, it's not going to be a Leave It to Beaver moment in your city, and yet you using the money that the taxpayers, they work hard for that money just to make a living, and you using money that they have legally agreed to give you because they have jobs. They have legally agreed to give you this money. Well, not you, because that's your problem. You're a narcissist and you think everything is about you. But they have legally agreed to give the city of Dolton, state of Illinois, this money so it can be allocated to benefit them, i.e. police force on the streets, to reduce crime or to help solve crimes. But yeah, you're using this money for your own personal benefit. At some point, there will be 2 officers or 3 officers, said Collins. And depending on if there were some type of event, there will be more officers. That's for a town of little more than 20,000 people that's struggling economically and usually has only a few police officers on duty per shift. Floyd Mayweather, worth probably $1 billion, hundreds of millions of dollars, a lot of money, carries a lot of cash, wears a lot of jewelry, has expensive cars, expensive clothes, whatever. He may have 4. I think I've seen like 4 security guards around him when he's out in public. That makes sense because that man can get robbed, extorted, what have you. People don't like him. Got people that love him, got people that hate him. But this is worldwide. This is not just in the little town of Dolton. This is worldwide, and he has maybe 4 big security guards. What the hell is this woman of a town, this mayor of a town of 20,000 people, need 2, 3, or maybe even more officers to protect her against average everyday citizens? I don't get it. I don't get it. Collins said Henyard's security detail was warranted when it started in 2021 after a police-involved shooting in Dolton sparked protests and threats. And at some point, the protest stopped, Collins remembered. The things going on and around the protest eventually stopped, but the detail continued, and it grew in size and scope. Collins said Henyard frequently used the officers as a personal valet. Officers will be sent out to run errands, do pickups, do drop-offs, whatever the case would be, he said. Oh, she thought she was P. Diddy. She thought she was P. Diddy and gonna have police officers run and get her some breast milk from a Cambodian on the other side of town. Yeah, something was. The mayor's detail also racked up thousands of dollars in travel expenses, accompanying Henyard on her many trips out of town. Why do you need a security detail while you're out of town? Questioned Collins. Who's on the other end of that flight that's going to do harm to her? Ain't nobody even know her. It's kind of like what was Fonnie Willis and Nathan Wade. When I do stories on them, and they got people in the comments saying that they claiming that, oh, they made these trips. People claiming they went here and there. How come nobody saw them in the airport? Ain't nobody seen them in the hotel. Nobody saw them in the airport. And I'm like, woman or person, whoever made this comment, most likely it's a woman. I wouldn't know Fonnie Willis or Nathan Wade now if they walked by me at my local HEB. Ain't gonna look at them that hard. Ain't walking in HEB and say, hey, let me look around at everybody's face and see, I might see Fonnie Willis and Nathan Wade. And this is after the story. So before the story hit, who in the hell in the world knew them? Talking about they ain't nobody see them in the airport. I'm probably sure thousands of people saw them in the airport, but didn't know who they were. Probably thought they were just a couple walking through the terminal, getting on the plane. If they got on the plane at the same time, they might have got on a plane at different times, sitting in different areas of the plane. Might have got on 2 different planes and ended up at the same hotel at different times. Does not mean that they were not together. Does not mean they're not together. So my point is, Didn't nobody know them. So like now, even this woman here, this Tiffany Henyard, she can come, like I say, I heard my local HEB and walk right by me and I wouldn't even know her. Wouldn't even recognize her. Because I'm not going to look at people that hard. I'm not going to go to HEB and say, hey, let me see, I may just see Tiffany Henyard down here, way down here in Texas. Because she could be hiding out because they're doing all these stories on and investigating on her. She might be trying to lay low. She might be down here and she might walk into the HEB or the Walmart. Let me look around for ain't nobody looking like that. So again, who in the world on the other side of that flight is even thinking about Tiffany Henyard or even know who the heck she is? Collins said he became increasingly frustrated because the mayor's detail tied his hands when it came to fighting crime. Just last week, a mass shooting on Sibley Boulevard left 4 people injured. Collins believes the bad guys know there aren't enough cops on Dolton streets. Yeah, criminals ain't crazy. They know if they don't see no police, they know what they can get away with. Just like your illegal immigrants. They know they can get away with, so they're going to do it. The village of Dolton has its challenges with gangs, guns, and drugs, said Collins. And those officers need to be on the street to serve the people who live in the community and the people who pass through the community. And if the officers aren't there, the visibility isn't there. And if the visibility isn't there, criminals have free reign. When we tried to ask Mayor Henyard about her use of the detail last year, we were stopped by Dolton Village Administrator Keith Freeman, who stepped in front of our camera. Collins said he got the same cold shoulder when he tried to tell Freeman about the problems the mayor's details were creating. It was more or less, these are the orders. This is what you have to do. This is what we want. This is what you need to provide. Last week, Collins filed a civil lawsuit against the village of Dolton for wrongful termination, alleging he was fired by the mayor without cause and without board approval because his wife is friends with the same mayor's perceived political enemies. Our contention is that it is illegal, said Richard Blast, the attorney who specializes in police issues, and filed a lawsuit on Collins' behalf. Blast said Collins did nothing wrong and should not have been fired by Henyard. Chief Collins, any position he's ever been in, he's a policeman. He held the rank of chief, but he's a patrolman at heart, Blast said. Collins said now that he's moved on, he hopes the residents of Dolton are able to convince Mayor Henyard to scale back or eliminate the police department. It is frustrating to see officers used like that, said Collins. I'm sure the officers are frustrated too, but they're following orders. The city of Dolton, you just go ahead and get rid of her. I know they tried to recall her, but for some technicalities, the recall fell through, which is crazy. But they need to go ahead. What's the mayor's term? 4 years or 6? 4 years or 2 years? Is it 4 years? She gotta go. It's okay. She gotta go. I think it's a guy that's gonna run up against her, and he's probably going. I think he's gonna be a shoe in the wind because this is crazy. This woman is what she's done is, I don't know if y'all know it, but she put into place that the next mayor of Dolton or whatever position she has, that the next person can only make like $20-something thousand a year. 10% of not even 10% of the $300,000 she's been making every year, because she's trying to, help with the budget, But as long as she's in the mayor's office, she'll make $300,000. So basically, what she's doing is trying to deter anyone else from running because they won't get paid. But what she's not gonna bank on is you have people who really have the community's best interest at heart, and forget that 23,000. Don't mess around and go against somebody whose family already have money and really don't need that mayor's salary, and just gonna use a position to actually do right by the people and get that community back where it needs to be. You gone. Just as simple as that. There are too many things going on with this sister to where she can keep her job. And I did a video the other day where she was like all fussing and yelling, talking about, I'm a black woman in power. Y'all, why y'all attacking me? Y'all are black too. You black. Why y'all attacking me? You attacking you because you're doing wrong. They're attacking you because you're not transparent in your actions. When you're in positions of power and authority, Your actions have to be transparent, period. If not, there are going to be investigations. And the investigations, guarantee, are going to turn up some wrongdoing somewhere. Simple as that. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Shout out to Chief Collins. I hope he does well down there in Florida. You know, from what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, he didn't deserve to get fired. He just got fired because his wife was friends with the Mayor Henyard's enemies. But those are things you go through when you're in a small town. 20,000 people ain't a lot of people. When you're small town, everybody know everybody. So if I don't like you, then everybody I know don't like you. Then there goes like a civil war in the middle of town. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. Don't forget to hit up marlonmorale.com for your perfume, cologne, beard needs, and silk do-rags and silk scarves for the ladies. marlonmorale.com. With that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.